welcome to another episode of Pedagogy Pods, and thank you for joining us. Today we are keeping Sir Ken Robinson in our mind, and I love his thought that teaching is a work of heart. Yes, teaching is a work of heart. So, with that in mind, I am going to engage both of our experts or my colleagues into this conversation. So, my first thought is that, all three of us became a teacher, mm, not by choice because we did not have the educational background or BEd to become a teacher. However, we became one. And then what happened? And what was our feeling? Why did we come into teaching as a profession, and how did we accept and how did we adapt it? So I'm going to throw it open to both of them for them to pick up and talk about it. It's always organic, so I'm just going to keep quiet, let them talk, and then I'll talk.
Okay, so I'll go first. So for me, it was very circumstantial that I became teacher, but having said that, I never regretted it even for a moment. Initially, obviously, it was a tough task to learn, like how to be in a classroom or how to run a classroom. But the initial thought of applying for the job was that I'll be able to make some impact in a child's life, and not only academic, but maybe social, maybe emotional, what he or she can carry forward in life. At some moment they'll remember, oh, Jyoti ma'am was there, she taught us this. So that was my thing, that okay, I can do something even a little small, it'll be really nice for me. That was my point. Yeah.
And that's very organic. It's not something that you really think and do something consciously.
Yeah.
I think that's just us. That's how we conduct ourselves, right?
I have a different story altogether. My husband was in water security force, and in campus we had a school, central school, and our house was very nearby. So I was attracted by those voices.
Wow.
Those prayers, and then children speaking about something. I was attracted. I was thinking, why should not I join that?
Yeah.
So then I applied there, and I loved the energy there, and I went to classroom, and after that I never turned back. It was so beautiful for me. I just loved that.
Amazing.
Yeah, see, you come to a profession with a different thought, and where you take it matters the most. For me, I came to this school, I became a teacher, and I was a science teacher. I'm very passionate about science. I had, unknown subjects till grade 12, so I was very comfortable with the subjects, but I didn't want to do what my teachers were doing with me because I needed myself more engaged. So I needed my students more immersed, talking to me, understanding or unpacking concepts with me. So that's why I was called the most unrest person. If you remember, I had to do something different each day. So yeah, I mean, that's something, there was a worm that would wiggle in me to do something more. So yeah, that was me. But I think wherever you are, what matters is if you can literally do it with your heart. That's what matters most.
Exactly.
And you know what comes out of this are those aha moments that you never forget. And I'll invite both of you to share your aha moments in the classroom when you felt, oh really? I mean, that's the moment my students are always going to remember because something happened to them,
Yeah.
or learning happened to them. Yeah.
Go ahead, Meenakshi.
Oh, there are many aha moments. Many. Actually, I'm in love with the language.
Yeah.
And in Hindi, there is so much of love which you can inspire children with that. So I always translated this thing, let us read the story today.
Yeah.
There was a story where, you remember that Aladdin and Jinn ka story.
Yeah.
I taught the kids that story, and they were looking at me, and I said, now let us write poetry about this story. And we wrote such beautiful, I gave them in groups, of course.
Yeah.
4 of them or 5 of them were writing that poetry, but such beautiful paragraphs came, and it was so much of rhyming. And for example, Aladdin jab apne ghar aaya, usne mummy ko aisa paya, या इस तरह का जो भी बच्चों ने लिखा, that is still in my diary.
Meenakshi, that actually reminds me how musicals are made. A storytelling,
Yeah.
art of storytelling through music, and you actually brought a simple story to life by making it.
That
bringing
creates
in
magic in classroom. That creates a magic in classroom, because when they read their own creation,
Yeah.
they love it. They are participants in the class. They always are looking forward to what next.
Yeah.
Ma'am is teaching this today, so is there any project coming? Is there a poetry coming? Is there any caption coming? Sometimes we used to write captions, small captions,
Yeah.
two-liners,
Yeah.
and we used to do a board with that. So always you have to create that magical factor in the classroom so that they're always connected to you. They're always with you.
Yeah.
You know, we are both glued to what you're saying. So I
I
can
know.
so imagine how your students must be looking forward to today. What is she going to do, and how is she going to turn around this chapter or this topic and make it more interesting?
Especially
How nice.
making Hindi interesting is a
Hindi
challenge for
interesting.
sure, because
But it can be the most,
Yeah, rewarding
you can do it
also.
very, very rewarding. Yeah.
Language learning.
Expression of students comes so easily with them because once they start doing it, they feel it that we can express better in this language.
Very
Yeah.
true. Very true.
Yeah.
How about you, Jyoti?
So for me, I remember once when we were teaching math in the classroom to just class 2s, which is very basic. They are learning multiplication.
Yeah.
And so we started with a table of 2s and 3s and 4s. So for them it is like they are going by rote, 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 2 threes are 6. So when I explained to them, ki, what is it like? Can you tell me how are we achieving at these numbers? So they said, when we came to the conclusion that it is, can you imagine, it's just repeated addition, what is multiplication? So that was like a big aha moment for them. Like, oh my God, we never realized this, that we are just adding the numbers and just to make it, more easy to remember, we are making it into tables.
Yeah.
So that was a big, exactly, rather than rote learning. So if somebody, so they understood that they don't have to go by rote all the time. They can just simply add quickly and initially.
And in maths, it is so important. because
That was the basis.
It creates a love for the subject.
Yeah, and I remember in our childhood, tables learning was the
it
thing.
was
It was like a Bible. Even our parents made us, by the rote.
Every place they would ask us, come on,
I know,
say this,
go for the
say
table.
this, I know.
So that was my aha moment in the class.
Yeah, and of course, like the both of them have said, there are so many.
That's
it's tough
true.
to just pick one and share.
Yeah.
But just to, slightly different from what you both have shared. So I remember we'd gone on a trip to the place. So we were studying about water pollution, and we were studying how River Yamuna gets dirty as it comes to Delhi. So we took them to the point, almost the point from where Yamuna enters Delhi, and you can like see the curve of Yamuna coming in, and there's a huge water station out there, so you can view many things over there. So we took them to the point, and some of my children were very excited to go there, but when we reached over there, they were like finding something, they were looking for something. I was like, you're still looking for something, what are you looking for? So they said, ma'am, there are no hills. Where did it come from?
Yeah.
So that was something, that's an aha moment for me that, I should have told them actually, this is not the point from where it starts. It enters Delhi. So they probably missed that point. So we went back and I showed them the whole path, how, Yamuna emerges out of Yamunotri and how it travels to various places before it reaches Delhi. That was an aha moment for them.
I'm sure.
Oh, so the hills are not here, but the hills are back there, and that's where it travels from, and how it melts, and how it reaches us. That is the kind of learning. Sometimes you haven't really anticipated that they would be expecting a mountain to be present over there.
But as a teacher, you just saw that they are looking for something. That's a teacher's this thing.
Observation.
Role.
That's exactly
Teacher's
where
role.
your heart
So where is
you take out the time out of your curriculum, out of your structured way of carrying out your lesson plans. Bring in those changes, accommodate those changes, and help them understand. Because it really is a work of heart than anything else.
This quote comes alive.
Absolutely. So if I were to say that, many people say that we were born teachers, and we have complete respect for them because they know they have an aim and a goal towards which they are learning.
And maybe they deliver the chapters better than anyone who is not thinking about this thing.
Yeah, maybe they had another perspective. If I also felt sometimes that I'm not a teacher. I wish I had someone who knows how to carry forward the vision of a teacher, and then I would come in as another supplement to really make a difference in that the process of teaching. But I guess the process of teaching happens to us when we are with students. It unpacks and unfolds with their responses in our conversations. If we are conversing, and it's not a one-way method of delivery, it's not just that you're talking.
Delivery is also important, but it has with delivery, I think you should be creative enough to catch hold of the attention of students.
I'll take the
Yeah.
word with because that's most important.
Yeah.
Like, Sir Ken Robinson also pointed out in his talk, and I'll leave a link in the chat for you to watch. He said that, you are on diet. Not necessarily will you be losing weight. So you're teaching, but I'm not sure if students are learning.
Learning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a
Important.
very,
Very
very, very
important.
important thought what you've
Very
given. So many teachers think that they are teaching and they're delivering the knowledge,
Yeah.
but actual children are not exactly
And
learning.
we can give our example also. If we are sitting in a classroom and we are not connected with the person who is, we stop listening after a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever they are
exactly.
saying, they may be saying very precious things,
Yeah.
but we stop listening.
I hope
Yeah.
you're listening. Of course.
So making connection, I feel, is very important. The making connection with students is super important. Knowledge delivery is one part of being a good teacher. Making connections, and so that you know what they are looking for and what is missing from their expressions. We can make out, okay, we are not on the right track. We need to change our theory. We need to change our approach to teaching.
Yeah.
Once we know what from the responses. So especially in a classroom, you can't be having a cookie cutter approach for everybody. So we need to have a little personalized approach. Some students are very emotional. They want to have a little emotional approach to learning. Some are very straightforward. Some are smarter than the others. So we have to gauge and we have to learn like which
I'll
student
tell you
needs
an
what.
example about this, that I was teaching in my class and it was a poem about rain.
Yeah.
बारिश के बारे में कविता पढ़ा रही थी, and one student was very quiet. That student was not interested and he was very lazy, not writing, nothing. Then I asked students to make a picture. So they made, we always did this.
Yeah, we
We had to make a picture of that and then write the poem. So I asked them to make a picture, and that student was so interested in making a picture. Then I picked up that picture and I showed it in the classroom and I showed what he drew.
Yeah.
And he was so motivated after that. He
Yeah.
was so this thing, he wrote the whole poem after that.
Yeah.
So you have to gaze what is the
Yeah,
problem.
some-
Child, maybe he is lost somewhere or he has some tough day or something
Yeah.
is there.
Or maybe Meenakshi, he was just visualizing what rain
Maybe,
would
yes,
look like
yes.
while you were talking about rain, and they
Yeah.
were describing that rain in his mind.
Yeah.
You
And
visualize
it's
this
not that
came
we
up.
will not teach the language. We will also teach the language, but first comes his interest,
Yeah.
and then go to the part.
Exactly. Learning with a focus in mind is very important. We can't really leave it to students. Student agency is very important. We need to probably go according to them as well, but at the same time not lose focus of what our
Yes.
goal or
That's
Exactly.
objective is.
Your
important,
structure
yes.
is very important in a
Very
classroom, of course.
Yeah, very important. Yeah, many people have asked us many times, if we teach the way you're talking, then I think we'll lose track of time and we'll not be able to finish our work. No, I think we as adults know how to take charge, when to take charge, when to, release our hold over the class and when to take it back.
Take it.
So I think that's most important. And with that, I want to ask both of them, probably in 2 words, if you could describe, I know 2 words are very less, but let's try that. I love doing the 5 words or 2-word descriptions because they really bring out what it means to you the most. So 2 words to describe the whole essence of teaching or learning.
So for me, I think I already said that in previous conversation. Making connection with each and every student is very important as a teacher. For me, because I'm able to gauge what that student is missing, what the student is wanting, or to be able to, so that the student is able to come openly to me and talk about anything what he wants or she wants. So for me, making connections is a very important part of teaching.
Beautiful.
And for you, why don't you give your person first?
I think the world knows by now, but for me, nurturing education is the heart of everything. Nurture. It's a huge word. Again, I don't have to describe it, but nurture will hold many more words with it, in the sense that not just let the learner agency take charge, but nurture that learner agency. Don't go missing. Don't just give up control. Please understand that learning is a piece which is like a small piece in a big puzzle and needs to be placed in the right place. You're the one who's nurturing and directing it to be in the right place.
Yeah, lovely.
Making learning interesting,
Mm-hmm.
empathizing with students.
Ah,
These 2 are my main this thing.
okay, she took 4, but we'll take it. That's because empathizing is there. And I love, Meenakshi, in all you said today, there was a big chunk of empathy. You were trying to understand the learner's need.
Need. That
So,
is very
yeah.
important. According to me, that's very important.
Yeah, so we could actually hear it in your
Yeah.
talk. And for you, I think making connections was what you were doing when you were helping them understand the addition and multiplication. Many a
Yeah.
times, it's such a simple thing. I mean, it's written in the books. We say it all the
Yeah,
time, but it's
but-
very easy to miss.
Yeah,
for
and you're not
students.
noticing it for some reason.
Yeah, and if you can bring that to notice or to cognition,
Yeah.
that's what.
Especially
the whole-
forcing students to think.
Yeah.
Thank
You
you.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is also another very
Yeah.
important
Give them
thing
the
to-
thinking
Getting-
cap.
Yeah.
We
Getting
used to teach.
students to think and think out loud
Yeah.
is more important, so that thinking is visible and you know that they've understood.
Yeah.
So yeah, at that note, thank you so much. I hope today we've been able to live and talk the whole piece of teaching being a work of heart.
And thank you, Sir Ken Robinson, for giving such beautiful quote.
Such beautiful
Absolutely,
lines.
absolutely.
Very
And
inspiring.
do watch. He's got such beautiful wisdom to share. Do watch. There's much content available on YouTube. I'll leave a link for you. But till then, thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye.